Let's bring in Dave Maney, founder and CEO of Deke Digital. So first off, Dave, is Apple targeting Netflix?
Yeah, sure they are. It's an absolute kind of Me Too play of sorts for what Netflix is. If I were an Apple investor, and I'm not one, but if I was, I think I would not be impressed, and I think I'd be kind of worried because so much of what went on today was so Me Too, so very Me Too, and that is not where Apple has succeeded during its long and illustrious history.
Hey, Dave, this is Gary Kalpam. Along those lines, as Apple was rolling this out today, I wrote some notes. It says Apple TV channels. Oh, we have no TV channels. Apple News and Magazines, like we can't get that everywhere. Apple credit card, like I didn't have 30 credit card offers in the last week. And Apple video games, gee, we have no places to do that. Isn't this just Apple catching up instead of anything groundbreaking at this point in time?
Gary, at best, it's a catch-up. And the problem is everything that they're going toward today is a very different business. Like I've heard this general discussion kind of among the commentariat today saying, oh, well, will it be a success? And all those kind of things. If it's a success, it's still not as good of a business as the business they're coming from, which was incredible design and features of hardware and incredible design and features of software. They're going off into things where I don't see them having any special competence whatsoever. And again, I don't get it.
Yeah, but Dave, look, it's Jonathan Hoenig. Apple often is not first, but their design, their technology, their interface oftentimes makes them the best. So look, yes, this is essentially a Netflix wannabe, a streaming service, a credit card. As Gary said, there's a lot of those out there. But isn't there an opportunity here for Apple, as our reporter said, to essentially reinvent the experience, just as the original iPhone and iPod, if you will, reinvented the experience of listening to MP3s?
Yeah, I hear you, Jonathan, and it's an interesting question, but you know, what is broken or what is so different that you could possibly imagine doing about the experience of ordering up a TV show or a movie? And in fact, the company today, in trotting out Steven Spielberg and in trotting out Ron Howard, was essentially saying it's not about the experience. Look beneath to the content. Well, the problem is that puts them in a business where, in effect, no movie studio, no television studio ever got to be sort of incredibly valuable on the basis of the content. It's always about the distribution. But the distribution has been commoditized by the internet. So again, I believe that represents a gold rush for content creators who will receive those underlying riches, and a great bonanza for consumers who get the benefit of all this competition. But again, if you're asking me if that's good for Apple, I don't think so.
Dave, question. It seems to me, obviously, we haven't talked at all about iPhones, and nor did they, I gather, at least not much. And really what has spurred all this is that the iPhone sales industry-wide are in decline. I think what's amazing to me is this is a huge sea change for this company, how they're getting into these businesses where they're also rans. I do point out, by the way, they're talking about spending $1 billion on content. That compares to $15 billion from Netflix, $8 billion, I think, from Amazon. I don't see how people aren't just dumping this stock. I mean, I love Apple. I think it's a great company. But, oh, my gosh, is this a big change for them?
This reminds me in a certain way of the newspaper business circa around 1995 or so, when the cow was already out of the barn and they started to sort of say, or maybe 2000 is a better time frame, but when the newspaper business, which should have been in position to capture all kinds of what became fabulous internet sites like Google and Craigslist and all things like that, they were there ready to capture that. Apple, if you rolled the clock back 10 years ago, theoretically could have done with video what it did with music and went and captured it, but they didn't. And so now it becomes this rearguard action, which I would argue is a long shot, and if it succeeds, is already in a crowded, competitive, low-margin business.
I'm coining the streaming revolution a total cluster flicks. And I'll tell you why.
That was close.
There are more. First of all, Apple's presentation, they called it Showtime. It should have been rerun. Amazon's been doing this for years. There are more than 300 of these streaming services right now. And the problem is everybody wants a close and personal relationship with me where they control the comings and goings of all the other TV players. Folks, I get it. I'm attractive, all right? But I can't have a personal relationship with anyone. I'm sticking with my cable bundle.
Right.
You guys figure out.
Well, you got the last word on that one. Dave Maney, great to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here with us. Appreciate it.